Good morning. It's September. I think it's the 13th today, and there's probably an air of sadness about me this morning, quite honestly, because as of last night, further to a second email from the site manager inquiring about my plans for the future, because he acknowledged that I'd done a bit of strimming, but obviously wanted to know what my plans were for the rest of the plot. It was a bit spiky, really, the way it was phrased. So I can see you've done some strimming, however, you know. So yeah, I messaged a bloke back last night and basically said, yep, I acknowledge it is too much for me with my other commitments. I will surrender my tenancy, and please give me a couple of weeks grace period to clear my bits and pieces and to offer other bits and pieces to other plot holders who may wish to make use of them. And then I had an email back almost immediately that basically said, okay, thanks for that. So yeah, it's the kind of, I would say, potentially like the end of an era. It is the end of an era. We've done 3 years as plot holders here at the allotments, but we've never really had a lot of success. We've had some successes in years 1 and 2, and a couple of successes this latest year that we've done in terms of the squash and some strawberries and things, a couple of raspberries, but everything else has just gone to waste. And the plot is a mess. It is quite honestly a mess. And I haven't got time for it, and it's hard work. And when you settle back and think, yeah, I've done some work today, that's good, and then you go back and it's all been undone by Mother Nature. You're all completely covered again in more fresh greenery, and you think, oh, I'm going to spend hours clearing this. So I spent hours of my life just clearing weeds, and I've got other things to do. I want to see veg grow. I don't just want to clear weeds. So yeah, a bit frustrating, really. The plan now is that I am going to go into the plot, pick up a few bits and pieces, retrieve what I want to retrieve from certain elements of the plot. So I'm thinking potentially of retrieving some of the wooden beds, but I'm very, very mindful of the risk of spores of mare's tail and stuff coming into our home environment, and I do not want to introduce mare's tail anywhere. So I'm thinking, I might salvage 1 or 2 plants, but they're obviously going to come with root matter and soil. Don't want to risk putting those in the ground at home. So I might put 1 or 2 plants in some big pots that I've got. I want to retrieve my tool hooks from the shed, various other bits and pieces from the shed, stuff like that, get it all in the car, and then put the rest of the stuff that's up there as a free-for-all. So there's water butt, there's breeze blocks, paving slabs, plastic hoops for the netting structures, lots of netting, big bags full of netting and stuff, which I don't really want to introduce at home, those kind of things. So yeah, it's a bit of a sad day, really. I think in terms of the benefits of having an allotment, it has been enjoyable. It has been hard work, but it's been enjoyable. There's been a sense of achievement quite a lot of the time, and a sense of solitude and reconciliation, being able to sit up here on fold-up chair, have a cup of tea or an energy drink, and take time out from everyday life, which has been good. That's had real value. But I am left with a sense of sadness. My plan is that we'll make more of the home environment, and having maybe a little bit more time to just stay on top of plants and things by watering them while the kettle's boiling, that kind of thing, should enable us to make better use of things that are at home when they're at home, you know. So yeah, that's the plan. It's a shame, but that's what I'm going to do. So if you're still listening, thanks for that. I will shoot some more little clips as we work on the plot this morning. All right, take care for now. One twisted carrot. Slight damp problem in this shed. Quite a bit of stuff needing to be taken out and taken home. So I think the saddest part of this for me is that this was always my wife's dream. It was her idea in the first place. And then we had been here for literally 4 months and we just got the plot cleared and it looked immaculate after the previous tenant had left all their stuff and we had to get rid of all of that and start afresh. It looked immaculate in February of 23, and in March of 23 my wife got her diagnosis and we persevered for a couple of years and we've had some success at times, but we've never had the time or the energy to adequately commit to the plot alongside all the other things that we've had to commit to, including other sort of elements of family life. And she said last year, for God's sake, give it up. And she was right. but I didn't want to, because I wanted to stay on top of it sufficiently so that at some point, if she felt up to it again, she could come back and see it in a reasonable state and move forwards with it. And I was never able to achieve that, and I'm still in this mess that I was, the same sort of position 12 months ago, where I made an effort for a few weeks and I got it back together, and we were able to plant some things this year. We then lost those things to, you know, predators, slugs, probably rats, birds, those kind of things, and we were never able to successfully get a decent crop of anything this past season. And that's where the kind of my sadness comes from, that I wanted it to be better so that she could come back and resume when she felt up to it, and I've not been able to do that, and that's what makes me a bit sad today. Look at that beauty. Oh yeah. That's a giant squash. Pleased with that. Look at those bad boys. Well pleased. Okay, so the bean structures are down. A lot of people, I think, would just leave this stuff where it is and just walk away. But it was always important to me when working this plot that if I ever found anything that was alien, you know, like a bit of glass, bit of broken crockery, or, you know, plastic, so much plastic everywhere, that I would remove it. And that's what I'm doing now. So there are bits and pieces, as I'm taking these structures down, that are sort of coming to the fore. And I think, well, I'm not going to leave these in the ground forever. Here's one. Cable tie. And I know that a cable tie with a hoop on it is a danger to wildlife. No good. So we give it a little snip straight through. And then it goes in the bag. Just like that. So I'm going to carry on doing that for a few other structures that are here. A bit like the remaining sort of bean structure that was originally a tomato house. This is going to go, this big old rusty frame. So I'll get rid of that next. So I just about finished taking down the structures and pulling out the sort of things that I thought I might want to keep. And the rain has decided to make quite a considerable appearance. It's been a little bit drizzly at times when I've been working, but now it's actually raining. So I'm standing in the world's smallest shed, approximately 2 feet by 3, and waiting for it to pass. And because I dragged everything out of the shed in order to get in here, all the stuff that was in the shed is now outside under this tarpaulin, which a few minutes ago I was busy folding up and putting into the bag. But now I'm using it as a tarpaulin to cover the stuff that I'd saved in the wheelbarrow ready to take back to the car. So we'll just sit this out and then we'll see how we go. Good afternoon. It is the 20th of September. It's late on a Saturday afternoon, and this is quite possibly one of the very last video clips. The plan is to clear the remainder of the plot of our possessions, our bits and pieces, and I envisaged getting that done over the course of 2 runs in the car. I probably would have achieved that over 1 visit, quite honestly, if I'd had my BMW estate, but I haven't. I'm in the Mini, which means I've got very little space in the back, and I've got quite a bit of stuff still to bring back, so we didn't really want to leave much here. Probably leave the wooden beds, quite honestly, but I have got some sort of netting and things that I ought to bring back, and I'm going to bring back, and then I can go through it at home and see what we've got, what we want to keep, and then I can just get rid of it all from home. But yeah, I wanted to get it cleared today, or at the latest sort of tomorrow in the early afternoon, so that as of this weekend I can just declare the plot a free-for-all, and anybody else that's got a plot up here can come and take what they want off of me. So yeah, we're just going to take a little walk over and remove the last few bits and pieces and go from there, really. So see you in a minute. Bye.